It's the story nobody ever thought they'd hear. A shocking twist behind the scenes of one of the most beloved streaming worlds in modern television. The world of Stranger Things, a universe built on friendship, found family, and the battle between light and darkness, may have had its own silent storm brewing right where nobody could see it. Reports have emerged that Millie Bobby Brown, the breakout star who grew up before our eyes as the telekinetic heroine 11, allegedly filed harassment and bullying claims against her longtime co-star David Harbour, who famously plays Jim Hopper, the tough-hearted police chief who's become an on-screen father figure not only to his character's adopted daughter, but to fans who saw him as Millie's protector in real life. The whispers began as quiet ripples but quickly turned into waves across Hollywood gossip circles. According to a report first cited by the Daily Mail, the now 21-year-old Millie Bobby Brown allegedly made a formal complaint before production on the final season even began. The accusations weren't small. Rumors described pages and pages of claims, emotional in nature but not sexual, outlining moments that reportedly made the young star feel deeply uncomfortable. For a series built around themes of trust, betrayal, and loyalty, the idea that the heart of the show's most tender relationship could have fractured behind the scenes feels almost unreal. And let's stop here to breathe for a moment, because this isn't just any co-star dynamic we're talking about. This is Millie and David. This is the duo who melted hearts worldwide, the gruff small-town sheriff and the scared girl with impossible power. From day one on the set in Atlanta, where Stranger Things has filmed since its earliest days, their chemistry wasn't just acting, it was something audiences believed went deeper. Fans saw David Harbour not only as Hopper, the father figure 11 needed, but almost as the father figure Millie Bobby Brown had, in real life throughout her rise in fame, from age 11 to adulthood. A bond like that doesn't just vanish without leaving shockwaves. Flashback to earlier this year, Millie Bobby Brown gave an emotional interview to Entertainment Tonight, shortly after wrapping filming on the explosive and long-awaited final season. Her eyes held the weight of years, the exhaustion of a goodbye that felt too big to process. She talked about the last days on set, calling them really emotional and admitting she struggled to process the end of something that had shaped nearly half her life. Nothing in her tone hinted at fire behind the scenes, just sadness, nostalgia, and the bittersweet ache of closing a chapter. But now, in the present, a completely different narrative has emerged, turning those tearful farewell thoughts upside down. According to that report, before cameras even rolled for the final season, Millie lodged serious complaints. Complaints that triggered an internal investigation that reportedly stretched on for months. Think about that. Months of quiet meetings, whispers in corridors, private interviews, lawyers likely involved, all while the world believed the Stranger Things family was as tight-knit as ever. This wasn't a tabloid rumor born out of thin air. According to the report, multiple individuals were involved in reviewing the claims. And here's the biggest twist. The alleged investigation reportedly resulted in Millie Bobby Brown being accompanied on set by a personal representative during filming of Stranger Things Season 5. A measure that suggests Netflix was taking her feelings seriously, or at least taking the situation seriously enough to ensure everyone felt protected, yet no disciplinary action was ever publicly acknowledged. No legal filings surfaced, and no official statement confirmed wrongdoing. At this point, the picture feels blurred, like trying to see the upside down through fog and static. Was it misunderstanding, tension under pressure, a personal friction magnified by years of working side by side in one of Hollywood's most high-stakes productions, or something deeper that never reached the public eye? For fans, the emotional whiplash is overwhelming, because it wasn't long ago that David Harbour publicly praised Millie, calling her one of the people he was closest to on set. Interviews show them joking, laughing, teasing each other, radiating warmth. David, in one clip, calls her his best friend on the show. Their chemistry, raw, real, father-daughter magic, and became a foundation of Stranger Things itself. Their bond wasn't just a storyline, it was a heartbeat. But then came another shock in this Hollywood saga. The outside world creeping in. While these alleged internal tensions swirled, David Harbour found himself facing a very different storm. His estranged wife, singer Lily Allen, dropped a song titled Malene, in which she appeared to accuse him of infidelity. In interviews and social media posts, she didn't shy away from the implication, even saying she wasn't convinced he hadn't cheated in our house. And to double down in a moment equal parts bold and unsettling, she dressed as the children's book character Madeline on Halloween, turning a public wound into public performance. The timing raised eyebrows. Their split had become official earlier in the year, and reports suggested Lily Allen had supported David Harbour during the alleged on-set investigation. What does that suggest? Loyalty? Conflict? A marriage already under strain from external controversies and internal pain? Hollywood never sleeps, and neither do its shadows. Meanwhile, Netflix, ever protective, ever silent when things get messy, offered no comment. Not unusual for a streaming giant deciding whether silence is safer than noise. Legal teams likely whispered, PR departments strategized, and still not a word. One industry insider told reporters that Netflix has a duty to investigate such claims, and the lack of public disciplinary action could hint that whatever was found, the relationship wasn't beyond repair, that there was no lawsuit, no walk-off set meltdown, no public war. The insider noted that often such outcomes suggest an issue was emotional, not criminal. Serious, yes, but not something that shattered professionalism beyond repair. And then, as if the universe wanted to complicate things further, Entertainment Tonight reported the opposite emotional tone. A source told them there was no bad blood between Millie Bobby Brown and David Harbour, insisting they have a close friendship and have been through a lot together. A statement so calm, so gentle, it almost feels like a blanket covering fire. So what's the truth? Was it a moment of emotional exhaustion misunderstood between two deeply connected people under intense pressure? Was it youth stepping into adulthood and asserting boundaries in a world where she had once been a child? Was it a clash of personalities sharpened by fame, schedules, personal struggles, and the enormous weight of a global phenomenon's ending? Or was it simply personal? Something that only they will ever truly know. As fans wait breathlessly for Stranger Things Season 5 to hit Netflix on November 26th, this off-camera storyline adds a bitter edge to an already emotional farewell. For nearly a decade, the world watched Hawkins, felt the terror of the Upside Down, rooted for Eleven, feared Vecna, cried over Hopper, and fell in love with a cast that felt like real family. But even in families, especially in families, misunderstandings happen. Tensions flare, growing up changes dynamics, and sometimes the hardest breakups aren't romantic. They're emotional separations between people who once felt inseparable. What we know is this: Millie Bobby Brown grew up in the spotlight. From a child navigating fame to a powerful young woman with global influence, she's learned to defend herself, set boundaries, and speak up. David Harbour climbed from character actor to global star, dealing with fame's pressure while navigating a marriage breakup and artistic evolution. These two lives intertwined on set through years of emotional scenes, fame, pressure, and global scrutiny. And the end of a show like Stranger Things isn't just a wrap, it's an earthquake. It shakes foundations, it pulls up memories, it forces reflection. Maybe there were hurt feelings, maybe there were misunderstandings, maybe there was pain that never reached the surface until it had to be spoken. Or maybe, as some sources insist, the bond remains real, deep, and unbroken, complicated but intact, bruised but not shattered. Time will tell whether Millie Bobby Brown and David Harbour ever talk about this publicly. Time will reveal whether their final season feels different, knowing what may have lingered behind the scenes. And time will show us whether this story ends with distance. Or whether, like Hopper and Eleven, healing eventually wins. Because sometimes the real drama isn't in the monsters we see on screen. It's in the ones we never knew were standing just out of frame.